My name is Mason Drury, and I'm here to explain to you why I want to be in the culinary arts industry, as well as requirements for getting into that industry. There are many reasons that I will go over in this presentation on why I chose this industry and why it's a bit of a challenge. First off, we're going to be explaining the education and skill set that is required for the culinary arts industry. Now, it is far more heavy on the technical skill set rather than the education necessary. As the culinary arts industry, there's not really a prerequisite of education as far as going in. Most people do start at the bottom, such as a dishwasher or a prep cook. So it's very uncommon for somebody to get their degree and go straight to being a sous chef or a chef. The skill set, on the other hand, is one that is developed over time, as it's a technical skill, not a learned. These include knife skills, which is learning how to produce a singular cut repeatedly so that it never becomes inconsistent, as well as how to be super organized in the kitchen so that nothing is out of place, and your math skills, which come in handy with both measurements and when ordering food and doing the math on earnings. The last thing that I want to talk about on this slide is the food handler's test, which walks the line between the two. It is not technically from school, but it is an education. It's a government mandated test that shows that you are aware of sanitation and how to keep your restaurant clean and organized. Next, we have the job description. The job description varies wildly in the restaurant industry, as one would expect when talking over an entire industry and not a specific job. However, more common, it is cutting and preparing raw ingredients, as well as combining them in order to cook and create dishes for your restaurant. You would also be perfecting menus and recipes so that the customer constantly has what they want at the quality that they are willing to pay for it. Now, in a more management style position, such as a chef or sous chef, which would be my goal, you would also be in charge of training employees to do the same thing you are doing, cutting your vegetables the way you want and preparing the dishes the way that it needs to be prepared to remain consistent in your restaurant. Now, the benefits are a little bit scarce, but I think the ones that are there are the ones that I would be looking for. And those are job satisfaction, as preparing a dish is very satisfying to somebody that knows how to do it. You take your raw ingredients and you work it into an art and you make it delicious. And that is a feeling that's hard to replicate. It's making something from scratch that you know will make people smile. Next, it is a very steady job. There will always be a restaurant open somewhere. People always will eat out. That is a consistent, and we've seen it tried and tested very heavily recently. Even whenever restaurants are running lower, even when people are scared to leave their homes, they will order food. And lastly, it is a very creative industry. It is one that you have to test and work and figure out what dish works and really pick your brain in order to get it right. This is something that I myself find very fun, and if I'm not being creative at a job, it would not work out. This has been my presentation on why I chose to be in the culinary arts industry and what it takes to get there.